Hey, Amani Channel here. This is an unannounced live, but I'm planning to go live every evening as we kind of settle into our new life here, and so hopefully you had a great day. I had a semi-productive day. I'm still getting used to the whole work from home situation. Devin was home too, so I don't have all my hardware and software configured for work, so I'm still trying to see if I can get my Mac to work with the work network and having to make sure I have enough memory, so I'm deleting stuff. And yeah, it's my personal computer, so I had some little questions about doing that. But anyways, all right, so I'm here now. So if you're watching this with us, go ahead and say put live in the comments. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up in my phone app so I can follow along with the comments here. But I wanted to use tonight to kind of just do like a Q&A, do a hot seat session. If you have any questions about making videos or any of the things we've talked about, that would be great. All right, so let me go ahead and get Facebook all configured here. Groups, and where's my group? All right, there we are. All right, so I'm not seeing. Oh, I'm in the group. Where am I? Where is I? All right. Hey, Denise, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? All right, so you see me. So I'm trying to find the live stream in the group here, but I'm not seeing it. But anyways, yeah, I'm just going to do kind of a freestyle. So if you have any questions, some folks have been asking me about what software I use to go live. Other questions about just general production questions. So if you have any questions, Denise, this is kind of like an open hot seat. I'm going to stay on here as long as I can babble for a few minutes here. So as far as the software that I use to go live, I'm using a program called Ecamm, and it's for Mac only, but I love the software because it allows me to do a few things. So I think I've demonstrated it before, but when you go live, it allows you to like add lower thirds. You can, let's see if I can do it here for you. And lower third is just the title there that you see. It actually has this cool new effect where you can do like sound effects. So here's an example of that. In addition to that, you can add video elements to it. And I'm just showing you this. I'm just showing Ecamm right now. I'm doing like an open hot seat Q&A. So if you do have any questions, I'd like to know what some of your video challenges are. Like Denise, are you making videos currently? What's your biggest, what's holding you back at this point? Because I'm of the opinion that now is a great time to make video content because folks are at home, they're online, they're looking for good content. And so if you're an expert in your field, you can provide some value. I think this is a great time to get your business out there, especially since we're in this whole era of social distancing, right? So with Ecamm, you can add video elements as well. So you can I usually pause after I start my videos and I do this. We should start in just a second here. So yeah, Ecamm is super flexible and you can have multiple cameras. I'm not going to play the whole thing there, but you've seen the motion intro that I use. You can use multiple camera angles, so you can have multiple, if you have multiple webcams set up, which I do now, you can have several different sources, video sources. So let me get this vertical. Let me get this all oriented correctly there. So you can do the kind of live TV kind of thing where you're switching back and forth from cameras. So I love it for that. Have not started. Why haven't you started? What's holding you back? I'd love to know what's holding you back because some folks they get caught up in their own challenges, right? They're like, I don't like this or that. I just like to hear what's holding you back from making videos, because a lot of folks, once they get started, they realize that it really wasn't a big deal. Like the things that was preventing them from making videos wasn't as big of a deal. Hey Lakia, how you doing? So you like Ecamm? I take it by your wow comment. So let's see here. You can have lower thirds. Like for Ecamm, if you're playing a recorded video, you're supposed to let folks know. Facebook I think wants you to let folks know. So if I were to play, this is one of my video episodes here from my Urban Report days.
This is where TV magic happens, folks. This is one of the news leaders in the Southeast in the Tampa market, and I enjoyed every day that I worked here. Learned so much about the TV industry, the news business, how to make news, make video, everything. And this is what it's all about, informing the public most of the time. I have a new driver courtesy Fox 13, Emily Stone.
Hi.
One of my former co-workers, can I say? And she's going to take me back to Fox 13 as my cell phone rings. People are already calling me.
I can't drive and answer the phone at the same time.
We're going to go check out my old station. I'm going to take you inside and show you a working TV newsroom.
Don't know if you guys want to see that whole episode or not, but basically I go inside of my old station in Tampa. All right, so Lakia says, I'm worried about having the perfect background. Okay, so I understand having the perfect background, why that would be a concern, Lakia. But as far as making videos goes, I say just make sure that the background is clean and uncluttered and kind of symmetrical. So in my example, I have like a camera on this side. Can you see this side? Then I have a couple of just visual. There's a picture there. One of my baseball plaques that I got right there. And it's pretty simple, right? And then I use a little colored light. If you can, can't know if you can see it, but I get trying to get out the way. There's a colored light behind me. I don't know if you can really see it, which kind of adds gives a nice mood to the video. But don't really worry about having the perfect background. Just make sure your background is kind of symmetrical, represents your brand. So that's why I have one camera behind me. Sometimes I have a ring light as well. But yeah, it doesn't have to be, nothing has to be perfect. It's better to, done is better than perfect. That's one of my coaches says. So, and I agree with that, right? So if that's just all that's holding you back, maybe go outside even, and when you go outside, it doesn't have to be perfect background. Just make sure the sun is the light source and is in front of your face rather than behind you. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. What else? It couldn't just be the background, Lakia. What else is preventing you from making videos? I like to hear it and kind of help you work through some of the challenges. I hate my voice. Okay, that's what Linda says. That is 100% normal for you to hate your voice. And the reason why you don't like hearing your voice with your ears after you record it is because your voice sounds different to you because it's resonating throughout your body. And so the first or second time when you hear yourself recorded, you're like, that does not sound like me. But the secret is that everyone else, that's how you sound, because everyone else just hears your voice coming out of your mouth and throat, whereas you're hearing the voice kind of resonate through your body. All right, Linda? So don't worry about how you sound, because all of your friends, that's how you sound to all of your friends, right? That's how you sound to everyone else who knows you. And even though it takes some getting used to, it's not really a big deal. Okay, so you think you look awkward on camera. Don't worry about that, because everybody does, especially the first or second time. But that's all just being relaxed, just being able to speak to your expertise and not worrying about it. So don't worry. You might think you look awkward, but it's because you're probably not used to just seeing yourself talk. Even when you look in the mirror, right, you're kind of posing. When you look in the mirror, you're looking for imperfections. When you're actually speaking in a conversation, which is what it's like when you're making a video, you can make expressions. You're going to, I do all sorts of things. Like my eyes get big sometimes when I get excited, and I'm furrow my brow. And that's all stuff where I'm like, why did I do it? Why do I look like that? But, that's the way you look to everyone else. So this is the important thing when it comes to making videos. You have to not worry about yourself so much and worry about the audience and the information that you're sharing. For instance, if I was so self-conscious that I didn't want to share this information, then you wouldn't be learning from me right now. So you have to think about, put yourself in your audience's shoes. Awesome. That's awesome, Lakia. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of you too. And Alinda says, you're so right. So, just worry about your audience, right? Think about those who need your information or who could benefit from your information. If you're super worried about yourself, you're probably focused a little bit too much on the wrong thing. And true enough, we're all a little narcissistic. I'll go back and watch, I watch all of my videos once I record them, just because I like to see how I looked. Sometimes I might stumble or something, so I'll go back and look and see how that little rough part sounded. And I will tell you this, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, oh, that didn't sound so bad. Even when you're communicating, you might think that you said something that sounded really awkward or you look really awkward. When you go back and review it or watch it, it probably isn't that bad. So just remember that no matter how awkward you think you feel or sound, that it's probably not as bad as you think it is. Because when you go back and review it, it's like, even when I worked in the news business, when it came to like my live shots, when I struggled for years, like when I go back and review them, they weren't really as bad as they felt, even though they felt kind of awkward. I felt kind of stumbly. 9 times out of 10, it really wasn't as bad as it felt at the time, because the nerves kind of can make you, feel a certain way, or, you feel that nervousness, that anxiety. But, it's just a conversation at the end of the day. So just imagine it as a conversation. Make sure you're prepared by having your talking points written out. Like, have 3 or 4 ideas, big picture ideas that you want to share. Like, for instance, when I shared the video that I did last night, or the class that I did last night, I had like a whole slide presentation that I presented to. So it wasn't as difficult for me to get through my information. But if I wanted to just recite that off the top of my head, it'd be impossible, because that's just too much information. So what I suggest you do is just have some talking points, just sort of written out, some big picture ideas that'll keep you on track. Refer back to them, and then you're an expert. I guarantee everyone who's watching this right now, you're an expert at what you do. You offer something very special. That's why clients come to you. That's why people like you and love you. And so just, be yourself. Relax. Don't worry about how you sound. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about the background, really. You have to just go out there and do it. Like, there are times where I've gotten out of my momentum. Like I say that, part of making videos is having the momentum to just make your video. So if you're feel like you just don't feel like you can get out of your rut, maybe talk to someone, get some encouragement. Like, I'm an encourager. Like, I will encourage all of you guys to just go out there and conquer your fear and just to do it. But you sometimes have to get out of your own mind. And the times when I've gotten out in a rut where I don't feel like making videos, if I make videos anyways, it's like, oh, okay. Then you sort of build a momentum from there. But you got to keep it up. Like, if you have the habit of making a video once a week, it's important to stick to that schedule. If you want to make a video every day, like go live every day, just stick to that schedule, because you're going to get into the habit, and then it's going to feel funny when you don't stick to your commitment to make videos. Does that make sense? Cool. So if anyone else has some questions for me about equipment, or about the performance part of it, or editing, anything like that, I can hopefully provide some insights that will help you out. I can share this. Let me share this with you, because here comes Devin. Here comes Devin. Hey, Devin. You coming in here? He was going to come in here. Devin stopped himself in his tracks. All right, so I'm going to show you this because I am working on a edit currently. This is like a testimonial video that I'm working on for I say a client, but he's actually a business associate of mine. He does pressure washing, and he actually came in, pressure washed my house, and in exchange for that, I made a nice little testimonial video for him. So I don't know if you can really hear this, but I'm gonna kind of walk you through it real quickly. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro to do the majority of my editing. I also use like ScreenFlow, which is another simple editor. And so this is the timeline down here, which you're looking at the bottom of the screen, where it's actually, you make all the edits. And then I'll just play this. So I started the video out with just me sort of talking on camera, and then I cover the rest of it as much as I could with actual images of the guy who's pressure washing. My wife's been asking me for the past, I don't know how many months. So then I get into the actual story about how the house was like a dirty mess, and how my wife used to call it a witch house. And then the sort of the difference that the pressure washing made, like it looked kind of yucky, right? And then, the pressure washing treatment. So I was super excited when I heard that Andre gets out there, and then he sort of goes around the house and cleans it up. And I put some branding in there, let him get his business in there, of course. When I heard that he's expanding to Atlanta, I was like, man, you gotta come. All right. So with editing, the secret to editing is having good images to match your audio. That really is the secret. So if you capture good images that match what you're talking about, you'll be in great shape. So for most of this video, I use a tripod, and I just I captured the action as he did it. And then after he finished, I went and recorded my testimonial, and then I just basically was speaking to the visuals that I had, and that really made it pretty simple for me to go through and start editing this video. So it's almost done. What do you think of Filmora? Yeah, I think Filmora is a great option. I think it's are you talking about the mobile option, Denise, or the desktop? Because I know that for a lot of beginners, I think Filmora is a great option. Like a lot of folks get caught up in the software, but it's more the tool. Like editing is editing. Now I've never used Filmora, but I've heard very positive things about it, and I think that if you're just getting started, that Filmora would be a great option for you. Go ahead and try it, and then if you have any questions, like there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube if you want to get started. But yeah, just just get started with editing and desktop. Okay. So like I said, the main thing with editing, like if you're just getting started, is to minimize your edit. So Denise, when you start recording your videos, what I suggest you do is get comfortable enough to record your video from beginning to end in one take. And that's going to really minimize your need to edit. So maybe you just need to trim off a little off the top and a little bit off the bottom to start off with. And sort of start off with some basic edits. And then, I don't know if Filmora allows you to add voiceover, like video over the voice, like B-roll. But then experiment with some voiceover if that's what you want to do. Some additional B-roll if you want to get really creative. What are you going to be shooting with? I'm just curious what your. Let me bring my camera back on here too because. Bam, bam. All right, so I'm curious to know: will you be shooting with your iPhone, or will you be shooting with a webcam, or what's going to be your video source? What are you going to be shooting with your your videos, and what kind of videos are going to be doing as well? Just like talking head videos like this, because those are super simple to edit, talking head videos. And so yeah, just let me know what you're going to be shooting with and what kind of videos, and then we can go from there. Or else I can go back and answer your questions at the end of it with a phone. Okay, so I'm going to give you some. So I'm sure you know this by now, but hold your phone horizontally. All right. You might want to use like a table kind of tripod. I don't have any here, but I do have a tripod. I do have a couple here. All right, so I have this tripod, so put your phone on a tripod. I have a couple here. Tripod adapter, which is what these are. And, get it set up on your desk or wherever, and then just talk directly to your lens. Now, a lot of folks, when they're shooting with their selfie camera, just going to give you some tips here. A lot of folks, when they're shooting with their selfie camera, they're going to be tempted to look at yourself. You're going to be tempted to like stare at yourself, right? Because you want to see yourself talk. The secret to this is actually to trace your finger along the side of it. And mine is not. Oh, it's not a selfie camera. It is not. Is it? Yeah, there it is. All right. So the secret to that is tracing your finger along the edge, and wherever your finger covers up the camera, that's actually where you want to look. So look wherever the little camera is, and that'll make sure that you're maintaining eye contact with your audience. The temptation is to look at yourself while you're recording, and that will actually, you won't be looking directly at the lens of the camera or at your audience. So yeah, and I don't remember what profession you're in, Denise. So but whatever kind of video you're trying to share, just make sure you have a few talking points written out that like your audience, who your ideal audience is. Like for me, I know that my audience consists of a lot of female business owners, like women who are over 35, who are a little bit self-conscious for whatever reason, or just want to make videos. I have my avatar that I wrote out, but people sometimes don't fit the avatar. It's not exact, but that's just what I created. So yeah, those are some basic steps to get you started. And then I guess if you're using a PC, you can transfer your video to your computer via the lightning port cable, and then you can import it into Filmora and start editing. But the editing process is basically the same regardless of what you're using. You would import your video, drag it to your timeline, and then you can add like lower third elements or some transitions if you have multiple takes, etc. All right, so that's basically how you get started editing. Does anybody else have questions for moi while I'm here? I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time with this, but like I said, this is the era of social distancing. So this is a great time for you to make videos, right? Because there are folks who want to learn from you. There are folks who want to receive your information. And why not make a video? All right? Because I know for myself, I'm basically homebound. Like my son's home from school. My wife is still doing her real estate. And I'm like the stay-at-home school dad who's trying to balance everything. So I'm trying to balance my work, and wasn't really productive today, but I promise I'm gonna be a little more productive tomorrow. I was actually working on a script right before I came on, because I need to get this script done because we have this whole remote workflow, and I don't have a computer yet, so it's just a challenge. I'm sure others are dealing with similar challenges. Thankfully, my company is not like cutting its staff at all because of the slowdown. As a matter of fact, I would assume that ratings, like the news stations' ratings, are probably doing excellent right now because of the coronavirus, excuse me, because of the situation with folks wanting to know what's going on with it. Now, I will say from my point of view, you want to limit that information because it can really create anxiety, panic, like a lot of fear. And I feel like fear is really negative emotion that brings our energy and vibration down. So, just stay in your current, whatever your current Zen state is, try to maintain that while taking in the information from the news. I mean, you got to kind of be informed because you want to know what's going on. And it's very natural to want to know what's going on. That's just me being on my soapbox. And yes, I do work at a news station. I'm a broadcasting professional, but you gotta, if I didn't work in the news business, I would not be watching too much news. What software are you using to put? Okay, so this is a program called Ecamm, and Ecamm is for Mac users. It's for Mac only. But I do highly suggest it. Now, if you don't have Ecamm, if you don't have a Mac, I would suggest you go with a software called StreamYard. With Ecamm, I can it's basically I can create videos as I'm going live, or else Denise, I can use this to either just record a video, or I can go live with Ecamm. And so it's very, I like it because I can switch between camera angles. I think I already demonstrated, but I can, play videos, Let's have some fun. I always have trouble putting in my contacts. My eyeballs really don't like being touched. So that is Ecamm. Like I said, StreamYard, StreamYard, is another streaming option that will allow you to add graphics. I can add custom lower thirds to this, so I do like it. I think with StreamYard you can do that too if you get a professional version, or there's some different version levels that you can get with StreamYard. But I'm assuming you can add custom graphics to StreamYard as well. But that's a great question. But if you're on a Mac, definitely look into Ecamm. I have a link that I can share with you actually if you're interested in Ecamm, or if you're a Mac user. But I know a lot of folks are on PC, which I'm on a PC at work. I edit on Adobe Premiere at work on a PC, but at home I use a Mac, so that's what it is. All right. So I appreciate all y'all for the conversation. Anyone else have any questions for me before we cut this? I always tend, whenever I do these chats, I tend to go 30 minutes, and I don't want to go as long, but it's I get to babbling. Now we're already at 23 minutes, so I'm hitting that again. So if anyone else has a question, go ahead and enter it in there, or else I'm going to cut this short. Well, not even cut it short, but I'm going to, hold on, there might be other folks asking questions. I forget to check, because with Ecamm, I believe you have to allow me to see the questions or comments. Let me go back in my group and see if I can see this live right now. I'm still not seeing it in my phone. Very strange. I can go to my desktop too. Let me hop in the group on my desktop and see if I can see your comments there. Awesome. So if anyone, I'll say this as we wrap up. If anyone is interested in a free 30-minute, 15-minute strategy call with me, I encourage you to go ahead and book those with me. I just started offering them yesterday. And I'll provide a link. If you're interested, just put me in the comments and we'll schedule out a time to chat. If you're having some real challenges making videos, I believe that if you just take my advice from these live streams, you should be able to go out there and start recording your content. Linda, my wife does not make real estate videos. My wife does not make videos. My wife's actually pretty camera shy, believe it or not. Awesome. Michelle says she's planning to do a 5-minute video. Yes, always, right? Always, you get to talking, and next thing you know, it's 30 minutes. Exactly, Michelle. But that's good. That's good that you are able to. And the thing is, once you get started, like you'll find that you kind of get into a groove as well. So I think one of my students, her name is was May Rabano. So when we first started talking, she was like, I'm about to go live and I don't know what I'm doing and yada yada. I was like, just write down some talking points, go for about 10 minutes or so and just, end it there. She went for like an hour. And she actually got a sale out of it. And she was super like nervous and anxious, like before even going live. She said she felt sick after she went live. But that just shows you the power of live video. That people like to engage with live video. They like to watch the content, and you can boost your business. You can become an authority, influencer, etc. just by sharing information that adds value to your audience. I guess everybody here I'm able to see their chats through eCam, but I just want to make sure. So let me do this real quickly here. Any other questions for me though? I'm going to stick around I might as well stick around till we hit the 30-minute mark, since that seems to be the benchmark for me. So I'll stick around for a few more minutes, answer any of your questions, and I don't even know what camera I'm looking at, and then we'll call it a night. Let me go in here now. I think everyone must have, there's a link that you have to, oh, here we go. That's what it is. All right, someone put this link in the group, and then you have to click on this link to put this in the chat here. In the future, my computer's loading very slowly. It's like too much video action. I won't worry about it. But there is a link that folks need to click on so that I can see the comments in the chat. This is loading way too slow. All right, so I'm not going to belabor this. All right, but thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions for me, just go ahead and ping me. Leave the comments in the underneath this video, or just message me in the group, or send me a DM, whatever you want to do. Make sure you're following me on Facebook as well if you're just a member of the group. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you like to schedule a free 15-minute strategy call, put me in the comments and we'll get that going for you. Sometimes it just takes a little encouragement, some accountability for you really to get started, and I will provide all that for you, plus some awesome suggestions. I've created a formula, a 6-part formula that will help you develop your confidence, and it works like magic. Like, it's helped people all over the world, and it'll work for you too if you just want a little bit, some extra techniques to figure out your on-camera speaking thing. All right, so I think we're starting to hit that mark now. So with that, if no one else has any questions for me, I'm gonna wrap it up. This is Amani Channel. You are watching Video Fearless, of course, the Video Confidence Accelerator. I want to thank you so much. I'm planning to go live all this week, so if you do have any topics that you'd like me to tackle, please put them in the comments. I'll make sure I cover them this week as well. All right, so I will call it a night. We're at 28 minutes, so with that, I'm going to end it. Love to talk to you guys soon. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Peace. Why is it so slow?